like we have different objects in our application, right? Different elements like buttons, edit box, list box, combo box, radio buttons, whatever, different type of objects like links, images, so many objects. So likewise, QTP has some objects. One is the most important one is data table. It's nothing but QTP object. QTP's object. It's a object of QTP's environment. So to apply something or else to do some operations on this, you need to use the object. So whenever you want to do any operation on some object, write the object name data table dot. If you put dot, IntelliSense show you all the methods applicable, methods and properties applicable on that object. Here is the list. Data table dot add sheet, delete sheet, export, export sheet, get current row, get row count, get sheet count. There's a big list and each one is a very important one. Let us see the importance and the usage of these different methods. So let us first of all go with the add sheet method. Data table dot add sheet. Here when you write the code all automatically it will show the syntax add sheet and then the sheet name. Let us sheet is nothing but here in your data table by default there are two sheets. One is global sheet, the other one is action sheet by the name action 1, right? Suppose you want to add one more sheet. Why to add the sheet and all we'll be seeing when doing data driven testing. Let us first see different methods. Okay, data table dot add sheet and the sheet name. What sheet you want to add? I want to add the sheet by name my sheet. If you execute it, a new sheet will be added in the data table by name my sheet. So after adding the sheet, and one more thing, as we have seen that in checkpoints, whenever you use data table or else do any operations on the data table, that can be viewed only during the run session. But after run session is done, you cannot see the values. Means it's called a runtime data table or a design time data table. Design data table, so that the values will be captured only during run session, but you will add the test and you will not see it anymore. No use, right? So you need to export it into the external environment during runtime itself, because once run session is completed you will see nothing in the data table. So you will do one more thing here, use the export method. Export data table dot export and then the file name. File name includes the path also. Let us give the path C colon and now give the file name whatever you want to export it. Login or else I want to give it as out.xls. Go close. Now if you use this, because the sheet will be added and once the run session is done you cannot see the sheet. So, but you want to see that or save it to your local computer, you can use the export method and then the file name. So that the complete data table with including all the sheets will be exported and stored into your external environment. Now execute this. Right? Now again data table is not having the sheet. But go to the test results also. See here, in the data table at the bottom you can see my sheet also. But everything is blank of course, right? In the results document you can see the data table. Global, action 1 and my sheet was added. But there is nothing here. So even I have used export method. Let us check whether it worked or not. My computer, when you use this export method, the sheet will be created by this name. out.xls sheet will be created. Go here, see this is a use the date modified, sort by date modified. So this was the latest one. Open it. So the complete data table was exported. If there was something data, even that will also be exported. See here, global, action 1 and my sheet. Right? Suppose if there is already the file with the same name, means out is already there, out.xls is already there, then by using export method, it will just overwrite the existing file. So that is a add sheet and export sheet. So If suppose you want to export only the particular sheet which you have added, means you have added my sheet, you want to export only that particular sheet, you have one more method, means to export only that particular thing. Export sheet method. By this you can export only the sheet which you want. So again the file name, let us give this time out1.xls and then comma. It takes VT source sheet. Source sheet means which sheet you want to export. Whether you want to export global, action 1 or my sheet. If I want to export global, put here global or else action 1 or else my sheet. Here I am using my sheet. So that now out1.xls should contain only my sheet. Right, now go for the C drive, sort by the date modified. Where is out1? Export sheet. Oh yeah, here the directory. Yes. Now run it again. So this is the one created. So open this and you see here only the my sheet. Whereas you go for out, you see all the sheets present in the data table. Means by using export method, the entire data table will be exported. Whereas by using export sheet method, only the particular sheet which you want can be exported. That is the difference between the both. Again, you have one more method which is called delete sheet. Data table dot delete sheet. By using delete sheet, you can delete any sheet, like delete action 1. So that particular sheet will be deleted. Then export it again. Export it to just by using export means the complete data table will be exported, which should not have action sheet. Use some name here, new1.xls. This is the one. Right? There is no action 1 present because that was deleted. But after runtime again you see the same data table, no changes here, action 1 global. So these are the methods: export, export sheet, delete. We have many methods. The next one is data table dot import. Import means it will import the data present in the external file. Import and then the file name including the directory. So C colon, let us import some file which is existing. Let us import something like okay, let us import this sheet, login data.xls. Of course, after importing again you don't see any data in the data table. So again use the export method. This time let us use the export method here and change the sheet name something to new2.xls. So new2.xls and login data should be same now. The datasheet delete sheet operation failed because action 1 does not exist. Data table dot delete sheet action 1. Action was already deleted. So just comment this. Okay. Now go for new 2. This is the new 2. It contains, see here, it was copied into the first sheet which is global, all the data. Means if you don't specify into which sheet you want to import, means there are so many sheets. There are so many sheets in our data table like global, action 1 and delete. But if you say import, by default that will be copied into the global sheet. That's what happened here. It copied into the global sheet. Then action 1 blank, my sheet blank. Suppose you want to import into some particular sheet. Instead of global, you want to import it into some external sheet. Let us comment all this. Even you can comment this. So you want to import only into the action 1. Let us say want to import it to action 1. Data table dot import sheet method. Import sheet method will ask you where to import and also which sheet to import. Now give the file name, C colon directory, and this time choose the file which is having two sheets. Okay, here we are having two sheets, which is T cases and T steps, and the file name is keyword driven framework. Put the file name here, and from this sheet I want to import only one sheet, which is T steps. Into which sheet I want to import means destination. I want to import it to action 1. And after importing, I want to export the particular sheet, or else let us export the complete thing. Okay, complete sheet, complete data table. So check whether the name of the sheet is correct or not. T steps. This is the T steps, and I want to import it to action 1. So that the particular only that sheet will be imported into action 1. Otherwise, if you use import method, the complete data will be imported. So don't want to do that now. Now want to import only the T step sheet into action 1 and export it to, let us use one more new one, which is a new3.xls. Right? Now check the new3. Here see global and action. And action 1 is having only the T steps sheet. And that keyword driven framework.xls is having two sheets, but importing only the T steps sheet, and that too into action 1. So if you want to import only that particular sheet from the Excel file, so you use import sheet method, or else import method by which you copy the entire sheet. Suppose if there are 3 sheets here, so they will be copied accordingly. First sheet onto global, second sheet onto action 1, and third sheet as a new sheet if you use the import method. Or else if you want to import only that particular sheet, you use import sheet method. There are many methods applicable. Let us take a new one. So this is a data table. Suppose you have some values in your data table. The column name is A, second one is B, and the third one is C. Similarly, here also 32, 4, 5. Similarly, action 1, you are having the in action 1 34, 45, 1, here 2, 3, you are having these two data sheets with some values. Action 1 is having 3 rows, and action and global sheet is having 2 rows. Now suppose you want to know the row count of a particular sheet. How do you do that? Data table dot get row count. If you use this method, you will get the row count of the particular sheet. So, and then assign it to some variable, let us say n equal to data table dot get row count. So, there are 2 sheets, but which sheet row count you will get? By default, you will get the row count of the global sheet. Execute. Okay, before that, let us use some message box function to verify the output. Right, 2 sheets, but it's not using action 1 sheet. And also it will be executed 2 times, because the script will be executed as many times as you have number of rows in the data table. By default, it's a global setting. If you have 5 rows, the same message box will be shown 5 times. To avoid this, you can do one thing. Go to File, Settings, you have a Run. Here it says data table iterations run on all rows. You can say run 1 iteration only. Right? You can change the number of iterations it should be executed. For now, I am choosing run on all rows only. Apply. Okay. So that it will give 2 times. So, but if you want to know the number of sheets of number of rows present in the action 1 sheet, you have one more method. Data table dot, first of all use get sheet method, and then the sheet name, which sheet you want to know. I want to know action 1. Then apply the get row count. Get row count. Now you get the count of action sheet. Now use message box by commenting this. Right? It will be iterated again depending on the number of rows in action, a global sheet only. So that's how you get the row count of the sheets. Similarly, you have other method, get sheet method. Okay, we have already used it. And the other one is even get sheet count. We have let us take into X variable data table dot get sheet count. Using this method, you get the number of sheets present in your data table. Message box X. Everything will be iterated through 2 times. So those are the different methods applicable on the data table. Suppose you want to know that particular column value. You have a method data table dot value property, then it shows the parameter ID, means the column name. Let us give the column name as A, and then the sheet name. Sheet name is, let us say, global. So this will give you the column A global sheet, means this one, this value. Assign it to some variable which is A equal to, then message box A. Just commenting all this. $67, $32, both the rows, because it was iterated 2 times. Now, suppose you want to get the second column value, you use B. And then here also, if you want to know the values of the other sheet, like data table, right? Action 1. Here you go for 45, or else the B column B action 1. So you have Action 1. 45 and then 3. What about the third column? Third row. You got 45, 3. What about this 6? Because the script will be iterated as many number of times as you have rows in the global sheet. But what about the third row, second column values? So to fetch the value, particular row value, you have one more method. First of all, change the settings, run global data table iterations, run one iteration only. Apply it, okay. Now execute this, right? 45, that's all. Means it's executing one iteration. So, but what if you want the second row value and third row values? So by default, this will give you the first row value, but the column B might be having so many rows. So to get the different row values, you have one more method, data table dot set current row method, and this will take the current row value. Suppose you want to have the second row value, put 2, means second row. So here what does this do? Here the execution will be set at, means data table dot set current row, means execution will be set at the second row, so that if you execute this, you will get the second row value 3, just to some manipulations on your data table. Or else after this, or else you want again the row 1 value. How to get the row 1? Because execution was set at row 2. So now you can write data table dot set previous row. This will not take any value, just set previous row. Means execution was taken to second, again it will be set to 1. Means if you execute this, you will see value 45. Just different manipulations, that's all. You can do this by writing these two steps, or else this alone will do you that, right? Getting the value of the first row. Just different manipulations which we'll be using in the scripts. Likewise, we have one more thing, like again we have a data table dot set next row. What does this do? This will set the execution to the next row. It will also take no arguments and set current row to 2, then previous row means first, again second, next row means again second row value, right? Third value. Instead of all this, even this line will do, right? Set current row of 2 will do. Just how to use the different methods. Those are the different methods available. We'll be seeing some more in the scripts if required.